Okay guys, so first let me introduce myself. I'm Kadhumatul and now I'm going to bring you a story about a little girl. Her name is Timun Emas. This tale brings us to the mystical island of Java, Indonesia, where a widow named Mbok Srini lived alone on her farm. The widow was a kindly woman, but she was overwhelmed by loneliness and longed to have a child by her side. When her loneliness became too much to bear, Mbok Srini decided to pray to Butho Ijo for help. Maybe all of you guys wonder, who is Butho Ijo? Butho Ijo was a monstrous ogre who lived on the outskirts of the village and was known to occasionally grant wishes to people. Butho Ijo offered to grant to Mbok Srini's wish at a terrible price. When the child turns 6 years old, you will return her to me to become my meal, he said. Mbok Srini was very happy at the time. Despite the condition, the desperate woman agreed to his demand. Of course, I will bring her to you when she turns the 6-year-old girl. Of course, I promise, she said. The giant then gave her a single cucumber seed to be planted at her farm. Mbok Srini was happier at the time and went back home. In 2 weeks, the cucumbers started to bear fruit. In among them, there was one which was larger than the rest, that emitted a golden radiance. Mbok Srini split it carefully and found a beautiful baby girl inside. Filled with joy, she named that girl Timun Emas. Mbok Srini taking care of Timun Emas until that girl turned to 6-year-old girl. Alas, she had come to love her daughter over the years and couldn't bear to lose Timun Emas. But yet, she would never be able to stand up to the powerful ogre. Desperate for help, Mbok Srini journeyed to Gunung Kidul, the southern mountain, to seek advice from the powerful hermit. After hearing her plight, the hermit presented 4 small pouches to Mbok Srini. Give this to Timun Emas. They will help your daughter against the monster, he said. Mbok Srini was very thankful. Oh my God, thank you so much. I will never forget your promise. I will never forget your kindness, she said. And then she went back home. Long story short, the day finally arrived when the ogre came to Mbok Srini's house, eager for her to fulfill her promise. Mbok Srini got panicked, then gave 4 small pouches to Timun Emas and told her to run away. But Butho Ijo realized it. They chased after Timun Emas for hours and steady getting closer. Timun Emas remembering her mother's advice. So she threw the first of the pouches, the small bag of cucumber seed, to Butho Ijo. And magically, the vines of cucumbers sprang from the earth and blocking Butho Ijo's path. Butho Ijo, enticed by the fruit, and stopped on its tracks to gorge on them. But it wasn't long before he ate them all and resumed to chase Timun Emas. Just as the monster was about to catch up to Timun Emas, she threw the second of the pouches, the small bag of needles. The dense forest of shaggy bamboo trees appeared where the needles had fallen, entrapping Butho Ijo. Butho Ijo went to the first bamboo. He wounded and in reach. When he steady getting closer, Timun Emas tossed the third of the pouches. You know what? The small bag of salt. And suddenly, the powerful thorn turning into a giant wave swept Butho Ijo off his feet. Butho Ijo more than ever to catch up a little girl who troubled him. Then she chased Timun Emas. And Timun Emas had nowhere to run. And in her hand, she held the last pouch from the hermit. So she threw it as hard as she can. And suddenly, it transformed into a boiling sea of mud, burning Butho Ijo's skin. Butho Ijo struggled, he shrieked and howled in pain. He screamed, and suddenly, all was silent. Yeah, all was silent. Timun Emas had finally stopped Butho Ijo, once and for all. So, Timun Emas returning to her house. Mbok Srini hugged Timun Emas and they lived happily ever after. So, that is the story from me. Thank you so much.